Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Now at 6, the Plainville community is about to come together to honor a fallen hero. Ray Maro, a volunteer firefighter with the Plainville Fire Department, died in the line of duty Sunday. Maro was hit by a falling piece of equipment. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The vigil will start in the next hour to honor him. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is live where the vigil will take place tonight. Alicia.
Brent and Sarah, preparations for the vigil are already underway. Some members of the Plainville Fire Department have already arrived. The town manager expects there to be at least a couple hundred people to come out and pay their respects to this fallen hero. Raymond Ray Maro was killed Sunday morning after a piece of equipment broke off a fire truck and struck him. Maro was a volunteer with the Plainville Fire Department for 35 years. He was also a Marine Corps veteran. Plainville town manager Michael Paulus says the outpouring of support they've seen from Maro is heartwarming.
It's such an uplifting experience to see the support, the outpouring of support come in, calls and emails and donations, and the amount of flowers and people are dropping off, and it's great, and we're very appreciative of that.
Several people will speak at the vigil tonight, including Governor Ned Lamont and Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz. After speakers are done, they will have closing prayer before ending the event. The Plainville Fire Department also announced a wake for Maro will be held Friday from 3 to 7 o'clock at the Plainville Funeral Home. His funeral services will be held Saturday at the Central Connecticut State University's Welty Hall in New Britain. People will also have an opportunity tonight to drop a note with thoughts and prayers in a pair of fireman boots at the vigil. The town manager says those notes will be given to the family after the vigil. Again, that vigil will be starting here at Plainville High School at 7 o'clock tonight. Live in Plainville, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
And stay up to date on our coverage of Ray Maro on air, online, and on the Fox 61 News app, and streaming anytime on Fox 61 Plus.
We're more than halfway through the heat wave. Just one more day of the stickiness, the humidity, feeling uncomfortable out there.
Yeah. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here now with a first check on this weather impact alert. So, Rachel, have we set any records?
We did end up tying the daily record high temperature today for both Hartford and for the Connecticut shoreline. Look at these heat indices. They are incredibly impressive. It feels like 108 right now in Meriden. This is not a computer-generated number. This is the actual heat index right now, because the more moisture there is in the air, the harder it is for sweat to evaporate off your body and the hotter you feel. So that's the science behind it. 98 is the feels like temperature in Windham. We're going to do this all over again tomorrow. Once again, feeling like up to triple digits. But while it's hot for one more day, similar temperatures, we will have the chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. It'll be kind of hit or miss in nature, but a front that's approaching will help to break the heat for Thursday and Friday. So a heat advisory remains for one more day. Here's a look at temperatures across the state. We're going to time out thunderstorms. Your full forecast is coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And a reminder here, the extreme hot weather protocol is in effect now until 8 p.m. tomorrow. So cooling centers are open. To find the closest one to you, dial 211 on your phone or visit 211ct.org. We also have that information available on fox61.com. And just by the looks of it, it's a good idea to stay inside with the AC cranked up during this heat wave if you can. Fox 61's Celine Arif shares how some folks around here aren't letting the heat hold them back from having a great summer.
At the pool, it's pretty simple. When it gets hot, people come here. And because it's been so hot lately, this Waterbury Pools changed their hours this week, and people are pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's great, honestly. That's more time in the pool, more time for people to have fun. That's really good.
You won't catch Megan Baez complaining about the near triple-digit temps. She starts her senior year of high school this August, and heat advisory or not, she's going to make the most of her summer.
Some people are really complaining that it's too hot. Do you think it's too hot?
No, not at all. Oh my God, it's so much better to be in here when it's a hot day like this because it's so cold. It's not cold, but it's cold enough. It's refreshing.
Arya Quinones agrees there's no time to complain when they're busy diving into all the fun.
I like to swim and then go all the way to the deep end and then try and hold my breath for like 30 seconds.
And you're looking at those swim strokes she's been practicing all summer. Tuesday's weather also brought out siblings Elsa and Ekram Salmani, and the only thing they want to do outside when it gets this hot is getting right into the water.
I feel like every time I'd be like, Mom, let's go to the beach and all that.
And not even 10 minutes down the road, folks are bearing the heat for a treat that cools you down like nothing else.
Cookie Monster.
Harper Anderson mom and big sister joined their neighbors inside to get some AC and grab a scoop of the coolest thing in town this week.
We get very busy. Everybody's out and about. They want to cool down from going grocery shopping or out with the kids, picking them up from day camp, and they all come here after because you got to cool down with Connecticut's best ice cream, you know?
Owner Harry Rose says his ice cream and the summer heat go hand in hand like sprinkles and soft serve, and it takes a lot of effort to keep up with all those ice cream orders this time of year.
Yep, we only have about another month and a half, and then it'll start slowing down.
Now the pool here at Washington Park, Hamilton, and Fulton are staying open 2 hours later than normal until 8 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday night. Reporting in Waterbury, Celine Arif, Fox 61.
The Inspector General's office says Naugatuck officers were justified in shooting a man who charged at them with a knife in April of last year. Body camera video shows an interaction between officers Joseph Palheat and Crystal Hudson and 24-year-old Kyle O'Kreen at Bombers Pond Park on April 25th. It's reported O'Kreen would not drop the knife even after multiple commands and being tased. Then officers shot him when he refused to drop the knife. O'Kreen recovered from the shooting. He said he wanted officers to end his life and charged the officers to, quote, force their hand to shoot at me. The Inspector General says because of these circumstances, officers Hudson and Palheat's actions are justified. O'Kreen is charged with attempted assault on a police officer.
New developments. The state dropped charges against East Lyme's former embattled police chief, Michael Finkelstein, today. He faced charges in 2 domestic violence cases from separate arrests last year. We're told he completed a family violence diversionary program last year, and that's why the charges have been dropped. Finkelstein gave his resignation letter to the town last May. He was on paid administrative leave 4 months. A former Westport psychiatrist was arrested again yesterday. He's accused of sexually assaulting more people. Lazaro Pomeraniec has been charged in 2 separate incidents with patients under his care. He was arrested for the first time last month. He turned over his medical license a short time later. He's out on bond and due in court late next week. And Middletown police say a man shot a family member during a fight last night. The fight broke out between 2 men on Elm Street around 10:30. Officers say a 46-year-old man hit a 43-year-old man with a hatchet, and the younger man shot the older man in the stomach. The 46-year-old is listed as stable in the hospital right now. No one has been charged, but the incident is under investigation. Bridgeport police have made an arrest in a killing that happened 4 years ago. Officials accuse 38-year-old Victor Colon of felony murder and other offenses. They say he shot and killed 54-year-old Joselito Calderon July 11th, 2021 at Copa Restaurant on Lexington and Harrell. Police say a second person was shot as well. Colon is being held on $2 million bond. Speeding drivers in one Connecticut town are hitting the brakes. Washington police say their new speed enforcement technology is doing exactly what it's supposed to. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson shows us the impact and why officers say this could be just the beginning.
Back in May, Washington installed speed cameras here on Litchfield Road, and since then, they've racked up a large number of fines from new and recurring offenders alike.
The goal of these cameras was to address problem areas around the town, and so far, Washington police officer Rich Anaimo believes they've done that.
The speeds have come down since we've started the speed camera program. They're not as egregious as they once were when we first started it.
Officer Anaimo says the town saw the highest speeds on the roads when they first installed the cameras. And it's safe to say those speeds shocked him.
I have seen some speeds that I did not think were possible on that road. When we first started the program, I was getting speeds that were 20 to 30 miles an hour over the limit. The top speed that we had on there, I believe, was 73 miles an hour.
That's more than double the posted 35 miles per hour speed limit in that area. State law limits how much the town can fine drivers, $50 for the first 2 offenses and $75 for every time after that. That's in comparison to fines of $200 or more if drivers get pulled over by an actual officer.
Some of these speeds would actually be a court appearance because they would be considered reckless driving on these roads.
Recently, speeds have decreased drastically than what officers were previously seeing. However, Officer Anaimo says his colleagues are seeing the same drivers getting ticketed over and over. So much so, he says one driver has been fined 28 times up until this point.
I believe some have been down to talk to Mr. Britton, our first selectman, about their speeding, and it has died down since. I have not seen them repeat since that.
But with speeds coming down, there are fewer complaint calls from homeowners, helping ease some of the strain on the department.
And during the summer, there's a lot more visitors here to the town, so it just frees us up from having to sit there and run radar, which is pretty time consuming and takes hours at a time, where now we can answer calls more efficiently throughout the town.
Right now, Old Litchfield Road is the only street that has speed cameras installed, but the town says they hope for more speed cameras to be installed as early as the fall. In Washington, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Eversource responded today after Connecticut Attorney General William Tong opposed a major gas rate hike. Tong is urging regulators to reject Yankee Gas's $193 million request. Yankee Gas is owned by Eversource. He warns the increase could add about $43 a month to the average bill and would unfairly impact families already struggling with rising costs. However, in a statement to Fox 61, Eversource says, in part, quote, "The rate adjustment we've requested with PURA is driven by the substantial investments we've made and must continue to make in the natural gas distribution system to ensure that our customers have safe, reliable service." And they add, this review is an essential step to ensure that rates accurately reflect the costs associated with these upgrades, which are necessary to provide the level of natural gas service that our customers expect and deserve.